Hey everyone, ready to make every minute count? We're diving deep into Value You by the Minute.
Oh, yeah, this one's great.
This book is all about turning us into value-adding machines.
Right. Sounds intense.
Right. But don't worry, it's not about becoming robots or anything.
Okay, good.
It's about understanding how to make our time and actions really matter,
I like that.
both for ourselves and the others.
Yeah, that's key.
It's like this book goes beyond typical productivity hacks.
Yeah,
It's not just about like squeezing more into our schedule.
no, not at all.
It's more about shifting our mindset,
Totally.
aligning our time with what truly creates value.
It's about that ripple effect.
Oh, I like that, a ripple effect.
Yeah.
So where do we even begin with this whole value concept? Have you ever actually stopped to think about what makes something valuable?
That's a good question.
I mean, we use the word all the time,
We do.
but what does it really mean?
Well, that's where this book gets really insightful.
Yeah.
It breaks down value into two types,
Mm.
intrinsic and extrinsic.
Okay, so two types, intrinsic and extrinsic.
Yeah, think of intrinsic value as something's inherent worth.
Okay.
Like the beauty of a piece of art
Mm-hmm.
or a breathtaking view.
Okay, I could see that.
It just exists regardless of anything else.
Okay, so that's intrinsic.
Right.
What about extrinsic?
Extrinsic value is based on stuff outside the thing itself.
Okay.
Like market demand or somebody else's perception.
Oh, interesting.
Like take a diamond, for example.
Okay, yeah.
Its value is tied to things like its rarity,
Uh-huh.
how it's cut,
Right.
the market demand.
Things like that.
Yeah, external factors.
So intrinsic is about what's inherently special,
Yeah,
and extrinsic is about how the outside world sees it.
that's a great way to put it.
So how does this apply to US? Are we talking about putting a dollar sign on ourselves?
That's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, not quite.
Okay, good.
But the book does encourage us to look at ourselves through this lens of value.
Okay, I can see that.
You know, we each possess intrinsic qualities. Our passions, talents, values, our kindness,
Oh, that's good.
those things that make us uniquely U.S.
I like that.
And then there's the extrinsic value we build,
Okay.
like our skills, knowledge, and how we contribute to the world around us.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like we have this inner value, and then we can share that and build upon it.
Exactly.
I see how this goes way beyond just getting things done.
It totally does.
It's deeper than that.
Way deeper.
Okay, so the book argues that a truly fulfilling life comes from nurturing both types of value.
Absolutely.
It uses this great example of Mary.
Oh, yeah, Mary.
She's an accountant.
Right. She was successful, but but she felt unfulfilled.
Oh, no.
And it turns out her true passion was painting.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So by pursuing art, she tapped into her intrinsic value.
Mm.
And then by starting her own business, she created extrinsic value too.
So she found a way to do both.
She did.
That's really cool.
It's a great example.
Yeah, it shows that sometimes what we're good at and what truly fulfills us are two different things.
Sometimes. Yeah, for sure.
That's a really good point.
It is.
But shifting gears for a moment, the book also mentions this thing called a SWOT analysis.
Oh, yeah. SWOT analysis.
How does that fit in here?
So SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Okay.
It's often used in business,
Right.
but this book applies it to personal growth.
Oh, interesting.
It's a way to take stock of your current value situation.
Kind of like an inventory.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like understanding your strengths and weaknesses helps you see where you can build extrinsic value,
Uh-huh.
and recognizing opportunities helps you share your strengths with the world.
So it's kind of like taking an honest look at ourselves
Is.
to see what we're bringing to the table,
Mm-hmm.
both intrinsically and
You
extrinsically.
got it.
So once we've defined our value,
Yeah.
what's next? How do we start investing in it?
Well, that's where the book introduces this concept of a value portfolio.
A value portfolio.
Yes.
Okay.
It's spread across 4 key areas of well-being:
Okay, 4 areas.
spiritual, physical, financial, and social.
Okay, a value portfolio. I like the sound of that.
That's a good one.
But why is this holistic approach so important? Why not just focus on one area?
Well,
Like say becoming a financial whiz.
I mean, while becoming a financial whiz is great,
Yeah.
the book argues that neglecting any of these areas can actually hold you back
Oh, wow.
from reaching your full potential.
Interesting.
Like building a house.
Yeah.
You need a solid foundation in all areas for the structure to be sound.
So even if I'm doing amazing in my career, if I'm neglecting my health or relationships,
Exactly.
it'll catch up with me
It will.
eventually.
Yeah, it's all connected.
Okay, I see that.
Each of these areas plays a vital role in your overall well-being
Right.
and ultimately your ability to create and share value.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, let's take spiritual well-being, for example.
Okay.
The book emphasizes connecting to something bigger than yourself. Mm-hmm.
Whether that's through faith, nature,
Yeah.
or a sense of purpose.
Okay.
This connection provides a sense of grounding and direction.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Like, when I feel grounded and I have a sense of purpose, it definitely impacts how I approach my work
Absolutely.
and even my interactions with others.
Right. It affects everything.
What about physical well-being?
So physical well-being?
Is it just about hitting the gym?
Well, exercise is key.
Yeah.
But the book emphasizes a broader approach.
Okay.
It's about treating your body with respect,
I like that.
nourishing it with healthy food,
Mm-hmm.
moving it regularly,
Okay.
and giving it adequate rest.
Oh, right. Sleep.
Sleep.
Yeah. I always forget about that one.
Yeah, but it's so important.
It is.
Your body is the vehicle for all your aspirations.
That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
Like making sure you have enough fuel in the tank to reach your destination.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see the connection between feeling physically good and being able to like show up as my best self. Yeah, you have more energy and more focused.
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about financial well-being.
Okay, this one can be tough.
It can be.
Feel intimidating.
I know.
Or even like taboo to talk about.
Right, but the book stresses that financial security isn't about chasing wealth.
Right.
It's about having the freedom to pursue your goals and live a life aligned with your values.
So it's not about being rich.
No.
It's about having the means to make choices that feel right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see how that peace of mind would allow you to, like, focus on other areas of your life.
Totally.
Like your relationships or pursuing your passions.
Right, you have less stress,
Yeah.
more freedom,
Yeah.
and having a handle on your finances can actually empower you to give back to your community,
Oh, that's a good point.
which ties into social well-being,
Ah, yes, social well-being.
that human connection piece.
Right. How does the book approach that one?
It emphasizes the importance of building genuine supportive relationships.
Okay, I like that.
It's about being present,
Mm-hmm.
practicing active listening, showing empathy,
Yeah.
and being a reliable source of value for others.
So it's like two-way street.
It is.
You're receiving support
Uh-huh.
and being a source of support for others.
Exactly. It's a beautiful thing.
I'm curious, though, how does the book suggest we approach this whole value portfolio thing? Like, is it about achieving perfect balance in all areas?
No, not at all.
Okay, good.
Life is a continuous journey,
Right.
and it's all about progress, not perfection.
I like that.
It's about making consistent small improvements across all 4 areas.
So we're building up our value portfolio over time,
Yeah,
like making small deposits into a savings account.
that's a great analogy.
Thanks.
And just like with investing, the earlier you start and the more consistent you are,
Yeah.
the greater the potential return.
But instead of financial returns,
Right.
we're talking about a life filled with
Yeah.
purpose, meaning, and positive impact.
Exactly.
This whole idea of building a value portfolio is really cool.
It is.
But I have to admit, thinking about time in this way is kind of a shift for me.
I understand.
Usually I just focus on getting things done,
Yeah.
not necessarily the value behind each action.
I get that that's a common approach.
Yeah.
But the book argues that by shifting our focus from just managing time to intentionally creating value,
Okay.
we unlock this whole new level of fulfillment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
So instead of racing through our to-do lists,
Mm-hmm.
we're approaching each task, each interaction as an opportunity to create something meaningful.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, it changes everything.
And that brings us to another interesting concept from the book.
Oh, yeah.
This idea that every interaction is a potential value exchange.
Oh, I love this one.
Instead of approaching situations with that what can I get mentality,
Right.
the book encourages us to ask how can I contribute?
It's a powerful shift.
It is.
Yeah.
So instead of focusing on what I can gain,
I'm looking for ways to add value,
yeah,
to make a positive impact, even in small ways.
even in small ways, exactly.
Okay, so this shift from a get mentality to a give mentality
Yeah.
can lead to some pretty amazing results.
It can.
It's like that universal law of reciprocity.
Totally.
The more value we put out into the world,
Yeah.
the more value we tend to attract back into our lives.
It comes back around.
But it's not just about receiving something in return.
No.
It's about that inherent satisfaction that comes from making a positive difference.
Absolutely.
This value exchange idea is really resonating with me.
I'm glad.
But I have to admit, it also feels a little idealistic.
I understand.
Like, can we really add value in every interaction? Even the mundane ones, like waiting in line at the grocery store.
Well, that's a great question.
Yeah.
And it leads us to an even deeper layer of this whole value you by the minute philosophy.
Okay.
The concept of eternal rewards.
Eternal rewards.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that sounds intriguing.
It is.
Are we talking about, like, afterlife bonus points for being good or something?
No, not quite.
Oh.
It's more about understanding that the value we create can have a ripple effect
Okay.
that extends far beyond our own immediate experience.
Oh, I see.
The book encourages us to think about the legacy we're building, not just in terms of material possessions or achievements, but in terms of the positive impact we have on others
Okay.
and the world around us.
So it's about recognizing that our actions today can have lasting consequences,
They can.
even if we don't see the results right away.
Exactly.
Kind of like planting a tree that will provide shade for generations to come.
I love that analogy.
Thanks.
It's perfect.
It's about connecting our self-improvement efforts to a greater purpose,
Yes.
aligning our actions with our values, and making choices that contribute to a better future.
Absolutely.
I'm starting to see how this whole value thing is about so much more than just being productive
It is.
or efficient.
Yeah,
It's about living a life of purpose and making every minute count towards something meaningful.
exactly. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
It empowers us to see every moment as an opportunity
Okay.
to create something of value, to make a positive impact.
Yeah.
And to leave the world a little bit better than we found it.
Wow. This conversation has been so eye-opening.
I'm glad to hear that.
I'm already feeling inspired to be more intentional with my actions
That's great.
and to look for those value exchange opportunities in my everyday life.
I love it.
It's amazing how a simple shift in perspective can have such a profound impact
It really is.
on how we experience our lives
Yeah.
and how we interact with the world around us.
It changes everything.
But before we get too carried away with all this value creation,
Okay.
let's take a pause to absorb all these incredible ideas.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back to explore some practical strategies for putting this value you by the minute philosophy into action.
Perfect.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back. I hope you've had a minute to, let those ideas sink in.
Oh yeah, definitely a lot to process.
There is.
But now I'm ready for action.
Me too. Well, let's talk about putting this value you by the minute approach into practice.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm all about taking action.
Me too. But where do we even begin?
Good question.
There's so much to consider.
Yeah.
Like building our value,
Uh-huh.
making those exchanges, leaving a legacy.
It can feel overwhelming.
It can.
But remember, lasting change rarely comes from those grand sweeping gestures.
Oh, okay.
It's more about cultivating those small daily habits
habits.
that over time create that ripple effect.
So instead of trying to overhaul our entire lives overnight,
Right.
we focus on those tiny, consistent actions.
Exactly like the compound interest of self-improvement.
Oh, I like that analogy.
The book actually uses the Japanese concept of kaizen.
Kaizen.
Yeah, it emphasizes continuous improvement
Okay.
through small incremental steps.
So imagine dedicating just a few minutes each day to one of those 4 pillars we talked about. Spiritual, physical, financial, or social well-being.
Just a few minutes.
Yeah.
Can make a big difference.
So maybe it's starting the day with 5 minutes of meditation,
That's a great one.
or taking a quick walk during lunch,
Yeah.
or spending 10 minutes before bed reading instead of scrolling on my phone.
Those are all great examples.
So those little things can really add up.
They absolutely do.
It's like those small, consistent deposits that build over time.
Yes, and don't forget to celebrate those small wins along the way.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's easy to get discouraged if we're only focused on the end goal.
It's true. I do that sometimes.
We all do.
It's like we need to give ourselves a little pat on the back for
Exactly.
each step forward,
Even if it seems insignificant.
even if it seems small.
Yes, celebrate those wins.
Okay, I'll try to remember that.
It helps with motivation.
It does.
So let's get a little more specific.
Okay, let's do it.
How can we apply this to different areas of our lives?
Yeah, let's start with our careers. The book uses this great analogy.
Oh, yeah, I love this one.
We're all walking value banks,
Yes.
and every interaction is a chance to make a deposit.
Love it.
So how do we make those value deposits at work?
Hmm.
Beyond just doing our jobs, obviously.
Right. Well, it starts with a mindset shift.
Okay, a mindset shift.
Instead of asking, what can I get?
Yeah.
We ask, what can I contribute?
Oh, okay.
How can I add value to this project, this team, this meeting?
So it's about being proactive,
Mm-hmm.
taking initiative,
Yeah,
looking for ways to go above and beyond.
exactly.
But it doesn't have to be some grand heroic effort.
No,
It
no.
can be
Well,
something small,
it can.
like offering a helpful suggestion
That's a good one.
or sharing a relevant article with a colleague
Yeah.
or mentoring someone new to the team.
All great examples.
Those small acts of contribution can make a difference.
They do.
It's like we're weaving a tapestry of value within our workplace,
I love that visual.
making it a better environment for everyone.
Yeah. And as we consistently add value, we become known as someone who makes things better,
Okay.
someone people want to work with,
Oh, that's good.
that can open doors to
Yeah.
new opportunities and advancements.
Go. So we're making those value deposits at work.
Right.
What about in our personal relationships?
Yes, personal relationships.
How do we apply this value you by the minute approach there?
Well, I think presence is key.
Presence.
Yeah, putting down the phone,
Mhm.
quieting those mental to-do lists,
Okay.
and really tuning in to what the other person is saying.
Right. Like really listen.
Really listening, both verbally and non-verbally.
It's about making them feel heard,
Yeah,
seen, understood.
that's a powerful gift.
It is.
And don't underestimate the power of empathy.
Empathy.
Yeah, trying to see the world from their perspective.
Even if you don't agree.
Even if you don't agree.
That's hard sometimes.
It can be, but it allows us to respond with compassion and understanding.
It's about creating a safe space
Yeah.
where people feel comfortable being themselves,
Absolutely.
sharing their thoughts and feelings without judgment.
That's so important.
It is. And again, adding value to relationships doesn't always require those grand gestures.
No, it doesn't.
It's the little things,
It is.
the everyday moments that often matter most.
Yeah, like a thoughtful text message,
Oh, yeah.
a listening ear after a long day, even helping with a chore.
Right.
Yeah.
Those small acts of love and support can make a big difference.
It really can.
It's like those small everyday deposits into the relationship bank.
Love that.
They build up that strong foundation of love and connection.
It's so true.
But shifting gears for a moment,
Okay.
how can we apply this value you by the minute idea
Yeah.
to making a positive impact on the world around us?
That's a great question.
The book challenges us to think bigger than ourselves,
It does.
to find a cause that resonates with our values,
Uh-huh.
and to use our unique skills and talents to contribute to something larger.
Yes, something bigger than ourselves.
So it's about aligning our self-improvement efforts with a greater purpose,
Absolutely.
something that goes beyond just our own personal growth.
Yeah, it's about recognizing that we're all part of a larger ecosystem,
Okay, I see that.
and our actions, however small, have the potential to create those positive ripples.
But with so many issues in the world, where do we even begin?
Well, that's a common feeling.
It is.
But the key is to start small.
Okay, start small.
Choose something you're passionate about.
Yeah.
It could be volunteering at a local charity,
Mm-hmm.
donating to a cause you believe in,
Okay.
being more environmentally conscious,
Yeah.
or using your voice to advocate for change.
So many options.
There are.
It's not about becoming a superhero overnight.
No,
It's about those consistent, intentional actions
exactly.
that align with our values
Mhm.
and contribute to the well-being of our communities and the planet.
It's about making a difference,
Yeah.
one step at a time.
One step at a time.
Every act of kindness, every minute invested in making the world a better place.
Yeah.
It's like a seed planted in fertile ground.
Oh, I like that.
We may not see the results immediately,
Yeah.
but over time, those seeds have the power to grow into something beautiful and impactful.
Okay, so we've talked about applying this to our careers,
Mhm.
relationships,
Yes.
and our impact on the world.
Right.
Now, what about applying it to ourselves?
To ourselves.
Can this value you by the minute approach help us cultivate inner peace and fulfillment?
Absolutely, it can.
Okay, good.
It starts with living with integrity,
Okay.
aligning our actions with our values.
Right, so walking the walk.
Yeah, when we live in accordance with our core beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
it creates a sense of inner harmony
Okay,
and self-respect.
so it's about being true to ourselves,
It is.
even when it's difficult,
Even when it's hard.
and making choices that reflect our authentic selves.
Yeah.
No more pretending to be someone we're not, just
Yeah.
to please others or fit in.
Be yourself.
Okay, I like that.
And the book also highlights the power of gratitude.
Gratitude. Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
It is.
Shifting our focus from what we lack to what we have, appreciating the good in our lives.
Yes. No matter how small.
So instead of focusing on what's missing,
Right.
We train ourselves to appreciate the abundance that already exists,
Exactly.
like the loving relationships, the
Mm.
opportunities for growth,
Mm.
the simple pleasures that bring us joy.
All of it.
It's about recognizing the good.
Yeah.
And finally, the book encourages us to shift our focus from accumulation
Okay.
to contribution.
I like that.
Instead of constantly striving for more
Right.
possessions, status, achievements,
All that stuff.
we can find deeper fulfillment by focusing on how we can use our gifts
Yeah.
to make a positive difference in the lives of others.
It's a powerful shift.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like recognizing that true wealth lies not in what we own,
No.
but in the positive impact we make,
Uh-huh.
the love we share,
Yeah.
and the legacy of value we create.
Beautifully said. Thank you. And as we dedicate our minutes to these pursuits, contributing to something larger than ourselves,
Yeah.
expressing gratitude, living in alignment with our values.
It sounds fulfilling.
It is. We cultivate a sense of purpose and meaning.
That transcends the fleeting pleasures of material gain.
Exactly.
This whole conversation has been so insightful and inspiring.
I'm so glad to hear that.
I'm feeling a renewed sense of purpose
That's wonderful.
and a deeper appreciation for the power of each and every minute.
Every minute counts.
It does.
It's amazing how a simple shift in perspective
Yeah.
can have such a profound impact on how we experience our lives
Right.
and interact with the world.
It really can change everything.
It can.
But before we get carried away with all this value creation,
Okay.
let's take another quick pause
Sounds good.
to absorb all these gems of wisdom.
Take a moment.
We'll be right back to wrap up our deep dive into Value You by the Minute with some final takeaways that will leave you feeling empowered to make every minute count.
I love it.
Stay tuned. Okay, we're back for the final part of our deep dive into Value You by the Minute.
Time to wrap it all up.
Yeah, we've explored the philosophy,
Uh-huh.
unpacked the strategies.
Yeah.
Now let's distill this all into some key takeaways.
Okay.
I'm ready to make those minutes count.
I love that enthusiasm.
Thanks.
And it's the perfect energy to carry into this final part.
Okay, good.
Remember, it's not about becoming overwhelmed or anything,
Right.
or striving for some impossible ideal.
Okay,
It's about progress, not perfection.
I like that.
Start small and focus on making those 1% improvements each day.
So instead of trying to change everything at once,
Okay.
we pick one small area, one tiny action, and focus on that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Choose something that resonates with you, something that aligns with your values.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's dedicating 5 minutes to expressing gratitude,
Okay.
sending a heartfelt message to a friend, or brainstorming a new idea at work.
So many options.
There are.
Those seemingly small actions done consistently can have a ripple effect.
They really can.
I'm starting to see a pattern here.
What's that?
Small changes, consistent effort, big impact.
Yes, that's the key.
It's encouraging to know that we don't have to make drastic changes overnight
No, you don't.
to start living a more value-driven life.
It's a journey.
It is. But what about those inevitable setbacks?
Ah, yes, those happen.
What happens when we hit a snag or fall short of our goals?
Well, setbacks are a part of the journey.
Right.
Key is to be kind to yourself.
Okay, be kind to yourself.
Yeah, don't let a slip-up derail your entire progress.
Okay.
Acknowledge it, learn from it, and then recommit to your values and your vision.
So it's not about beating ourselves up
No.
for those inevitable moments of imperfection.
We all have them.
It's about learning, adapting, and getting back on track.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
Growth isn't a linear path.
Right. It's messy.
It's a continuous process full of twists and turns.
Yeah, that's true.
Embrace the journey with all its imperfections.
Whoa.
And remember that every moment is a fresh start.
Oh, I like that.
A chance to realign with your values and make a choice that moves you closer to the life you want to create.
Every moment is a fresh start.
Yes,
It takes the pressure off,
it does.
needing to be perfect all the time.
You don't have to be perfect.
Yeah, good.
Just keep moving forward.
I could do that now. Before we wrap things up, I have one final question for you.
Okay, shoot.
The book mentions this idea of eternal rewards.
Yes.
It's a powerful concept, but I'd love to hear your take on it.
Okay.
What does it mean to you?
For me, eternal rewards speaks to the legacy we create through our actions.
Okay, legacy.
It's about recognizing that our choices today have a ripple effect that extends far beyond our own immediate experience.
So it's about thinking beyond our own lifespan.
Yes.
And considering the impact we have on future generations.
Ex-
Kind of like leaving behind a positive footprint on the world.
I love that analogy.
It's about making choices that not only benefit ourselves,
Uh-huh.
but but also contribute to a better world for those who come after us.
Yes, that's the heart of it.
About living a life of purpose and making every minute count towards something meaningful.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
This entire conversation has been so insightful.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Value You by the Minute has truly given us a fresh perspective
It's a great book.
on how to approach time value and the impact we can make in the world.
It's all connected.
It is.
Remember, the power to create a life of value rests within each of us.
That's a powerful thought.
It is.
Start small, stay consistent, and never underestimate the transformative power of a single well-lived minute.
So true.
But a powerful reminder to all our listeners out there.
Yes.
We encourage you to embrace this philosophy,
Uh-huh.
to find those value exchange opportunities in your everyday life,
Yeah.
and to make every minute count towards creating a legacy
Yeah.
that will inspire generations to come.
That's the goal.
Until next time, keep diving deep and keep adding value to the world.